I'm Erin Wilson, and you are listening to Inside NC Labor, a podcast designed to inform and educate North Carolina citizens on the role that the Department of Labor plays in state government.
Welcome to Inside NC Labor. This is John Mallow. I'm a Public Information Officer here with Meredith Watson.
I'm also a Public Information Officer, and today we're here with Lee Peacock, the West Compliance Bureau Chief. Welcome, Lee.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you guys coming out.
All right. Well, we'll start out with just a general introduction, where you're from, where you went to school, your role at the department, how long you've been with the department, all that kind of stuff, and anything else that you'd like to add into your background, where you grew up and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I grew up over in Lexington, which is Davidson County barbecue capital of the world. And after high school, I started out at Guilford Tech Community College and went to a 2-year program there with an associate's degree in aviation management. Then from there, I went over to Appalachian to finish my bachelor's degree in industrial technology. And from there, I wanted to pick up more of the safety side of the house as far as some of that in the profession, environmental health. So I transferred up to Western Carolina and spent about 1.5 years up there and basically got a second bachelor's in environmental health. And after graduating, I worked with Food Line in their safety department for about 2.5, 3 years, and before I came over to DOL. And ever since 1998, been with DOL and been both safety compliance, health compliance, supervisor, and now my current position as Bureau Chief. So it's been a great opportunity, great career, a lot of excitement in the job that we do, and I just really enjoy the people we work with. But most importantly, I feel passionate about helping provide a safe work environment, for the people that are out working day in and day out, and want to make sure they come home the way they go to work.
Awesome. And so also during your time at the department, you have been involved with the Toys for Tots campaign. Can you tell our listeners about the importance and the purpose behind Toys for Tots?
Oh, absolutely. To me, that's one of the most memorable things I've had since I've been here with the department. And after graduating high school, I went into the Marine Corps Reserve, and I spent some time there. And that's when I really first got involved with the Toys for Tots function. And as most people know, that's the premier toy event as far as through not only the country but really through the world, to where the Marines will collect toys and basically return those toys to needy families within that community. And really just working through the reserves and just seeing the impact that those toys are basically able to give back to the community, and just see the enjoyment on kids' faces, when they wake up in the morning and have at least one toy. It's just, you really can't describe how warm that feels, but also just really makes you feel honored just to be able to, provide a better Christmas for somebody. So as I was in the reserves with DOL, I basically asked the commissioner at the time if we could start collecting toys out of all of our different field offices, and primarily this was for the labor building and for OSH. And once we got the initial approval, it's like this went department-wide. So it wasn't just OSH, it was the whole department. And we started in 1999, we started with the drop box just in the Charlotte office. And then after that is when the following year is when we was able to get the approval to go department-wide. And just through the years, it's just been just a phenomenal growth of just the people that get involved. And we can sit and we talk about numbers and we look at how many toys and how much money that we're raising every year, but it goes back to the people that we have, not only within the Department of Labor, but just through those years we've had multiple partners. We've had people from, or the staff from the Attorney General's office that they've got on board with our Toys for Tots drive. We've had Department of Public Safety, they're involved. We've got the auditor's office. We've also got the governor's office in several different years where they elected to help us collect toys as a whole. So we've had just basically where the vision was just starting with the Department of Labor, just really grew rapidly between all the different state agencies and things like that.
Labor was the only one doing it at the time when you started? in 99?
As far as my understanding, it was the only organized agency to go to that area. I think there may have been some with just a box here or there, but as a collected effort from the Raleigh market, that they pretty much said that, yeah, we were the only one with a real organized event, and it kind of grew from there. But again, our whole focus is it's not just about Raleigh, it's statewide. So we really take a lot of effort in the toys that are collected down in Wilmington, they go back to the Wilmington community. The toys that are collected in Asheville, they go to Asheville, and Charlotte goes to Charlotte. So wherever they are collected, we make a real concerted effort to work with the local Marines in that area to make sure that they get their toys collected, by either our staff or just general public. When we do the Toys for Tots, we open our offices up as an official drop-off spot. So we market that on Toys for Tots website. So people just come by and say, hey, can we drop off the toy? And like, absolutely, we'll take it and put it as part of our collection. But through those years, just the numbers are impressive. We've had a total of over 19,000 toys collected through the years, and 250 plus bikes and trikes. But even outside of that, we've had so many people that, I don't know if I really want to do a toy, but how about a financial donation? And we've been able to collectively collect over $26,000 just through the years of being able to give that back to, Toys for Tots. So this year's our 25th year, doing it for the Department of Labor. So we're really excited about that. Hopefully with those numbers, we're going to well exceed over 20,000 toys, for the department. But again, that's just not DOL. That's our other partners, in combination with that. So really exciting.
Are there any limitations or restrictions or rules about what kind of things can be dropped off or donated as far as the toys go?
Oh, that's a great question. We follow, of course, the Toys for Tots, regimen as far as off of what is donatable. Anything, believe it or not, even though it's by the Marines, we do not accept anything that is military. Anything that is going to have the appearance of combat, like knives, we don't take that.
So nothing like a Nerf gun?
Nerf guns, we can't accept that. But the other part of Toys for Tots, and this has started years ago, is also kind of a literacy program. So even if there's books that people want to donate, then that is something that Toys for Tots can also collect, so that way that from a literacy standpoint that can go back to the community as well. So, but outside of that is basically we do ask for a new toy unwrapped, so that way when they get it, basically what that looks like is once the Marines, we drop the toys off to the Marines, they work with a lot of different social organizations, and they will divvy up the toys by age group. So that way, if they've got somebody, maybe an infant, or if they've got a 3-year-old, or somebody all the way up to really about 13 is where somewhat of the cutoff, then they will divvy those toys up in that way that they go back out into the social community, or out to the community rather, and so that way that they can work with those different groups to help get the toys where they need to be. And just to be able to see just the Marines in full gear, just basically, or full speed rather, just to be able to go out and get all the toys and basically organized and collected, logistics and everything it's just overwhelming. But it's really, they pull it off year after year after year.
So I just was thinking, do you know like sort of the history or like when it started, the program started, who it started with, and just kind of like the background on it, how long it's been around?
The program started around 1947 with Bill Hendricks out of Virginia, and basically the whole mission was to be able to collect toys, new toys for needy families. What was kind of interesting was the first logo was basically hand drawn by Walt Disney, as far as the Toys for Tots initial logo and everything else. So that was kind of a neat part of it, but yeah. So from 1947 all the way up to the present date, that it's been in existence, and again it's the largest toy collection nonprofit organization that's out there year after year.
So the NCDOL will be hosting their annual Drop By and Drop Off event this year. Can you provide some more details about that event? I know you mentioned that you do it in Charlotte, Asheville, Raleigh.
Absolutely. And basically the way that it kind of culminated as far as coming together, Back when we went department-wide with the event, we basically took the toys and separated them out, and we took them to Raleigh, but we separated them out by location. And we asked the local Marines to be able to come in, so we had Marines from not only Raleigh, but we also had throughout the whole state go into Raleigh. And we basically had a small presentation with the former Commissioner of Labor and an official ceremony of handing those toys over to the Marines. But just through the years and all the different Toys for Tots events, that we've kind of changed that to where each office will be basically responsible, so that way the building Toys for Tots captain can work with the local Marine unit or sponsor to be able to get those toys into those areas. But as far as in Raleigh, since we have several and multiple offices, that is where we have the bulk of the toys as far as in one area. So with that, we do have a rather large event at the Labor Building. The last several years it's been outside due to COVID, to where we basically have done just a drop off and ask people to come by, drop the toys off. We would also, the different offices would take their toys, drop them off there. And really it's kind of twofold. It's all about collecting the toys, but it's also we want to be able to show, as far as even just the general public, that hey, this is something that the Department of Labor and our partners are doing to give back to the community. And where we went from inside the labor buildings of the second floor, just nothing but wall to wall of toys and bikes, you can't even move on open house day, to now we basically put that to the sidewalks, where it's basically causing a traffic jam. You can't move. People, still bringing up toys, and they're having to walk through, and it's really fun to be able to see the people's face when they walk through that has no idea what's going on, and then they start seeing all these toys. And a lot of times that they'll look and they'll go kind of reminiscent back. Oh, I remember when I was a little girl, a little boy, and I used to have this toy. So it's a lot of fun to be able to kind of see that and really kind of get people into the Christmas spirit as well. So
this year, what are the dates of being able to drop that off? Do you have like from one day to this span of time?
Yes,
it takes place.
Yeah, well, our event will kick off. It's actually starting next week, and we are going to be collecting all the way up until about December the 13th. Wednesday, December 13th is going to be for the Raleigh area. That's where we're going to have the basically drop off a toy on right there at Edenton Street, right outside of Labor Building. Now, for the offices, they may extend that depending on what the local Marines, or it may be shortened because they need more time to be able to get those toys to the local community. So each area, even though the Department of Labor, we kind of would say the 13th is the last day, we're still going to take toys that they trickle in.
You're not going to turn them away.
We're not turning them away, right? And again, we try to work with the Marine schedule, because not only do we want to collect as many toys as we can, but likewise with them, now that they've got to basically take those toys, get them to the warehouse, separate them out, get them to the groups, and then work into their Christmas break, because they get, of course, leave time and everything else. So in the event that for some unknown reason that we would not be able to get that to the Marines, then we're holding that for next year. But most time we've never had that issue. We've always been able to drop it off and to the local Marines and put it in their stockpile.
So for people who may be wondering where they could find out a little more information or just a reference, where do people need to turn to find that?
Well, as far as the main Toys for Tots, they go to toysfortots.org, and that will give you all the history about the Toys for Tots, but it'll also give you a way, if for some reason, if you're not in around the field office, if you're working remote, and this was really beneficial during COVID, that you can actually donate a toy online, that you can go through and pick a toy, and it will basically put it in the Toys for Tots collection bin. You can also make financial contributions online, but likewise, any of our field offices, throughout the state, we are designated drop-off locations, but you can also go to our website at labor.nc.gov and be able to find more information on the Toys for Tots events.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you joining us today and taking the time to talk about this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. And remember, your safety is our priority.